Hello, I'm Mark Corthine, and my wife and I were involved in the floods of January 2014. We were holidaying with our family in Australia. When we got the call, we had to come back because we had some water ingress into the kitchen of our farmhouse, which is in Fordgate in Somerset, near Moorland. On the evening of the 6th, 7th of February, we were inundated with 4 feet of filthy water, which went right through the ground floor of the property. But the worst thing of all, it just wouldn't go away. It was with us for 37 days. Now that's almost biblical proportions, and when you see all of your worldly goods floating, and although we'd taken precautions and got a lot of stuff upstairs, there was a lot of things we couldn't get upstairs. So therefore we were in a very difficult situation earlier in the year. No one actually expects 1 metre 21 of water to come in overnight. Therefore we weren't living here, we were already living out. But to come in or try to get in and then find that we couldn't actually physically get in because there was just too much water and too dangerous, that was awful. And then your brain starts to go, what have we lost? What can I get out, if anything? Hence the reason I found a dry suit and got myself in here last year, purely to get things like wedding photographs and things that we just couldn't replace, when all of a sudden you do realise what you've lost. And that was compounded, of course, by 2 years on the trot. Sharon and I were out for 5 months last year, and it was awful seeing your house decimated and rebuilt, and then of course knowing you've got to go through it all again. That was just awful. To walk back into filth, contamination, smell, I cannot start to tell you the smell. Walk into the kitchen where even some of the top cupboards were touched. So even if we had put things that were on the worktops were on the floor. Kitchen doors had been underwater so long they fell apart, and they were oak. So it really showed me that we were in dire straits. And so 1 year on, we are now living back in the house. We have everything up and running. We've got a few snagging items that need to be done, but we're warm and cosy. Our floors are warm once again. Upstairs is warm. And hopefully within the space of the next 6 weeks, we'll be able to gather about us replacements for much of that we've lost. Most of our pictures and all the small little things, the personal things, the photographs, the slides, that's gone, and it's a real shame. I really do feel for the people of Moorland and Fordgate, and of course the other 2,000 people that were affected throughout the 64 square kilometres that were flooded during the early part of January, February, March last year. This has devastated lives here. There's so many people that have lost so much. People in bungalows who couldn't put stuff upstairs. Things where people never experienced any major disaster in their lives. And I do feel greatly for them, because unless you've experienced something tragic like this, and it is tragic when you lose all your personal belongings and history, and so many people have said to me that yes, they're back in, but it's still not home. There's been some good things. The community generally have come together on several occasions. The volunteers have been absolutely marvellous. People have come from all over the country to help. And there's 26 families that weren't insured on the levels. There are 9 houses have been demolished because of the floods. But there are many, many more that are still trying to put their lives together after what was the most horrendous time.